Senate approves a 2024 to 2026 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper. Federal government seeks a private sector partnership to launch AI fund in Nigeria. Plus, Nigeria is set to export tons of agro-commodities and non-oil products to Mexico. The program is Business Express, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. I am Benny Adams, your guide. Good to have you join us at this time. At that time, we'll bring you up to speed with happenings in the world of business around the world. And we'll start by telling you that it will no longer be business as usual. This is the Senate note of warning to some federal government-owned enterprises while approving government projections on revenue and expenditure for 2024 to 2026. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports that the lawmakers vowed to extensively amend existing laws to reduce the 9 trillion naira projected budget deficit for 2024.
Agencies engage in arbitrary, frivolous, and extra-budgetary expenditure.
In the area of waivers, in 2024 alone, they have provided for 2.7 trillion waivers.
A lot of issues have been raised here that we will continue to work on. Even after this passage, we should really commend President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the initiative so far. And so there's a lot of hope for Nigerians.
We are talking about our mineral resources that's being exploited in that area, not only that area. We are talking about establishing an institution that will provide the human resources to drive these enterprises.
Now the federal government of Nigeria is seeking partnership with private sector in its bid to launch an artificial intelligence, that is AI fund, that will increase the country's capability in technology. The Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Dr. Bosun Tijani, disclosed this during the opening session of Tech Fair 2023 in Lagos. Tijani said the country is lagging in AI because there has not been any significant investment in the technology in recent times. However, with the fund, he says, the aim is to turn Nigeria into a global leader in AI over the next 4 years. He added that this can be achieved with the support of the private sector, as the government alone cannot fund it. Now, expanding and improving agricultural produce across states is pivotal to food security, and stakeholders are adopting mechanized system of farming to boost and drive a home and agenda of the present administration towards ensuring sustainable food security and improved farming system in Nigeria. Vivian Ezedife reports that this was at the week-long Agric Show in Nasarawa State.
Our baseline was showing that rice production was just about 1 to 2 tons per hectare. Now they are producing 6 to 7 tons per hectare. The same thing with cassava. When we went there, the producers were using not more than 10 tons. Now they are producing about 35 tons per hectare.
National Root Crop Research Institute has gone a step further. We've added value to our mandate crop, like the orange flesh sweet potato, the cassava, the yam, the ginger, the turmeric.
The aim is to increase production.
Now, still talking agriculture, according to PricewaterhouseCoopers International Report on Positioning Nigeria as Africa's leader in maize production for the African Continent Free Trade Area 2021, about 45.5% of maize produced in Nigeria is used to manufacture animal feeds, and nearly 98% of all animal feeds produced in Nigeria are used by poultry farmers. Maize accounts for between 60 to 65% of poultry feed constituents. Meanwhile, about 6.5% of maize produced in Nigeria is used by brewing companies, while 13% is used for the manufacturing of industrial flours, cornflakes, and other confectionery. However, this has caused a surge in this commodity price and supply chain disruptions, causing inflation across goods and services and affecting markets in Nigeria. Joining me from Kenya to discuss these issues is Rose. She's a director. Now you're welcome to Business Express.
Thank you very much.
How is Kenya this morning?
Thank you for Kenya is cool this morning. It has not rained today, but
Okay.
I think since I came to Kenya, every other day there's rain.
Okay,
The
and
weather is good.
back in Nigeria, the Harmattan are setting. I don't know what that is for the crops, but meanwhile, I know times like this are possibly times of harvest. But let's move straight into the discuss for the day. Let's start by you telling us about this new TELA maize variety and how important this maize is to the Nigerian economy.
Oh, TELA maize is actually a maize that is both drought tolerant and then fall armyworm resistant and the stem borer resistant. And it means that there is total protection against insect infestation. Insects within the family of the fall armyworm cannot actually feed on these crops when planted. And this means economic boost for the farmer because the number of sprays will reduce from maybe 10 sprays down to 2, 3 maximum. And that it's of economic importance to the farmers because they will enjoy um, less, production cost. Production costs will be reduced because you know how expensive things are. The chemicals are not easy to come by with the
Okay.
farmers. So you can imagine if a farmer has to do 10 sprays for him to have a very strong yield, it means the cost of production will go high. And that's why when the farmer harvests and is trying to sell it, he must recoup what he has spent. So the economic losses incurred by farmers from fall armyworm infestation is to the tune of over $268 million. And if you convert that $1 million to Naira, it's quite a lot. This is what they have been experiencing in previous years and all. So, but with this now, that money will be conserved. Nigeria will no longer spend hugely on maize, and then importation of maize will have to stop because we will produce enough because of yields. So
Okay. Okay,
once you
great.
take away insect infestation, of course, the yield margin goes high. And farming is all about harvestable yield, having strong yield. If you don't have strong yield in farming, then you have lost it because the profit comes when the yields are there. And
Great.
this telomeres can yield up to 7 to 10 tons per hectare,
10
with
tons
good
per
agronomic.
hectare. Okay.
Yes.
Compared to the normal variety, what's the difference like?
The difference is like between the ratio of 1 to 4. So
Okay.
if the local variety is giving 1 ton, this will give you 4 tons. So the difference is quite clear.
Okay, great. Now, yes, maize is a very essential source of food for man in addition to poultry and livestock, among others, and its inadequacy in supply has led to high cost of poultry and livestock products, as well as increase in imports, estimated at about $284 million. And now, what impact will the new variety make amid all the above issues presently on ground?
Yeah, the impacts will be across board, as it also affects the poultry industry. So the cost of the 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 poultry industry, especially in the area of poultry production, the cost of production will actually go down. So it's not only the farmers that will enjoy, also the poultry farmers will enjoy, the flour mills will enjoy, the confectionery industry, they don't have to also spend so much to buy maize grain. So, and then there will also be an improved grain quality, and then improved health and safety for farm workers, and then a negative environmental impact. There will be negative environmental impact, of course, because once you use less chemicals, even your environment, your soil is saved, because the accumulation of those chemicals also contribute to the global warming, the climate change. Temperatures go high, and then the global warming effect, the greenhouse gas effect coming. So with the use of less chemicals, because the plant already has protection against these insects. So I mean the impact really cuts across, from farmers to the industries to the consumers. The consumers will have access to quality grains for food, and the animal industry, of course, will also have access to quality grains for feed.
Okay, great. When should farmers now expect these seeds? Talking about availability for farmers now.
Oh, okay. With the, I mean, we're at the last stage actually, before it gets commercialized, before it gets approval for commercialization by the Varietal Release Committee. The project is actually carried out by IAR, Institute for Agricultural Research, in collaboration with international partners like the African Agricultural Technology Foundation, and the NABDA, the National Biotech Development Agency, and the Agri-Seed Council. Of course, they're all involved. All the national partners and international partners are involved. So we're expecting that it will be released in January. So once it is released by the Variety Release Committee, of course, the next will be seed production, breeder seed, certified seeds production, and then it will be released to the seed companies. The seed companies will be in charge of seed distribution to farmers. So we're expecting that by the end of 2024, farmers will begin to have access to these seeds to plant.
Okay, now you're in Kenya, and talking about genetic engineering. Are there lessons to learn from what Kenya is doing as to what Nigeria can learn from there to add value, and what Nigeria can actually transfer to Kenya? More like cross-fertilization of idea to ensure food sufficiency, particularly on the continent.
Yeah, Kenya is also doing a lot. They have a wide variety of crops that they are working on. They're working on cassava, they're working on cotton, they're working on banana, so many other crops. Yeah, they haven't yet. I think there's commercialization, but not in full. Nigeria is a little higher than them. Yeah, but lessons learning is, in between. They will learn from Nigeria, and Nigeria will learn from them. They've gone further ahead, but there are areas that Nigeria is ahead of them at the same time. And so they were all working together as one biotechnology and biosafety family. Our regulatory system, I think, is better than their own regulatory environment. In Nigeria, we have a very, very conducive regulatory environment and then policy environment. So, but the Kenyan policy environment and the regulatory environment, because they still have some court cases going on. They have won one case. The anti-GM group took them to court. They won the case, and the president of Kenya is actually fully in support of the scientists, in support of the biotechnology scientists in Kenya. And so we're expecting that by the time the two court cases are won, everything will be okay in Kenya. But for now, Nigeria is ahead in terms of policies, regulation, and all.
Okay, thank you so very much. It is heartwarming to know that Nigeria is ahead. And we also pray that bottlenecks along food sufficiency, not just in Nigeria, but across Africa, are done with so that we have enough to eat in country and to get to export.
Yes.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Rose
Thank
Gidado,
you.
Director, Agricultural Biotechnology Department of the National Biotechnology Development Agency, NABDA. Thank you for creating this time
Thank you.
to share your deep thoughts with us.
Yeah, thank you so much, and thank you for reaching across. Thank you.
Thank you. Nigeria is expected henceforth to experience an increase of 400,000 metric tons of maize annually with the introduction of the new variety of maize produced by the Nigerian agronomist. Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation says government will save about $284 million by adopting the new maize variety. Musa Aliu reports.
Has been on the decline. However, the good news is that Nigerian scientists have developed a new variety of maize seed that is resistant to drought and insect infestation. Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology visited a demonstration farm in Abuja. Satisfied with the output, he says the seeds will be made available for farmers in 2024.
Beyond the reduced reliance on chemical, the economic implications are profound. This innovation will counteract the annual fall armyworm-induced losses exceeding 268 million United States dollars.
BT cowpea with potential yield of 2.9 to 3 tons per hectare, as against the local variety with 350 kilograms per hectare, all developed by our scientists in collaboration with IR Zaria, ATF Kenya, and other national and international collaborators.
Nigeria has a deficit of about 3 to 5 million tons of maize annually, while the national output stands at 20 million tons. Musa Aliyu.
Thank you, Musa Aliu there. Nigeria is set to export tons of agro-commodities and non-oil products to Mexico. This is equal to a recent memorandum of understanding between Nigeria and Mexico to strengthen the existing trade ties between both countries. Comfort Amodu reports that the agreement encompasses several areas of cooperation.
This signals a new wave of cooperation and collaboration between the Nigerian Export Promotion Council, NEPC, and the Mexican Business Council for Foreign Trade, Investment, and Technology, which will boost Nigerian's trade volume to Mexico. It is an agreement that guarantees mutual benefits in the areas of commercial exchanges, market access, and product certification to ensure compliance with both countries' requirements.
Now we can export straight to Mexico. Once we get that settled, we increase the capacity in that regard. It's a great opportunity for us to create visibility, standardize our products, so that when we create that market access, we're able to export without issues.
This pact is also geared towards increasing Nigeria's volume of hibiscus exports to the Mexican market, since Mexico has removed its ban on the flower from Nigeria.
Also, we have signed a work plan between the two major institutions in Nigeria and Mexico that we have structured the process. We have streamlined how to do things, easy for everybody. We have the capacity and the interest not only to concentrate in hibiscus, there are another products like ginger. I was saying fresh ginger should be in Mexico.
The ambassador of Mexico to Nigeria, Alfredo Miranda, said Nigeria has already exported 800 containers of hibiscus flowers worth $40 million with the renewed economic ties. Comfort.
Gold gains as a weaker US dollar yields lift demand. Now let's take a look at the commodities market. Oil prices fell 1% in early trading on Thursday, extending losses after OPEC postponed a ministerial meeting. Stocking views and producers might cut outputs less than earlier anticipated. Brent futures fell 81 cents to $81.15 a barrel after falling as much as 4% on Wednesday. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude dipped 72 cents to $76.40 after declining as much as 5% in the previous session. Now, President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, says a positive development in oil and gas sector will be sustained to further improve performance of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, as the company aims for a net profit of more than 4 trillion naira. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali says this came to the fore when the group managing director, Melikari, met with leadership of the Senate. All details of that will come later in our subsequent bulletin. At this point, we end Business Express for today. We value your feedback, so keep the comments, observations, and suggestions coming. Be informed that all previous episodes are available on YouTube on NTA's channel. Let's do it again on Friday at 3 p.m.